Another issue related to China, communities across the country are grappling with the future of recycling. In Sierra Vista, concerns over contamination and cost force city leaders to do away with curbside service. Starting next month, residents will have to bring their recyclables to drop-off sites. Earlier this week, we visited with Sharon Flassar, the Public Works Director, who said the decision keeps rates low for taxpayers.
It all started in China about 2 years ago. They were receiving a lot of recyclables that had garbage mixed in, too much garbage. And the processing costs for that, for them, were very high. The materials weren't usable in some cases because they were so heavily contaminated. So they really cracked down and said, we're not going to take these materials anymore with these high contamination rates. And that caused the global recycling market to just plummet, unfortunately.
Did the average person understand how to recycle properly? Did somehow we cause this as citizens?
I think generally there was an understanding among people. The changes in China, though, aren't a level that your average homeowner is going to be able to meet. It's just too low. What we see sometimes is what we call aspirational recycling. People have items that they really want to recycle that aren't in the current recycling stream. So they'll put them in their bin anyhow, hoping that there will be a way to recycle those. And unfortunately, there's not, and that ends up being counted as contamination in the recyclables. For mixed stream recycling, curbside recycling, 20 to 30% contamination in the bins is very common, communities nationwide. Some of that's the aspirational recycling. Some of that is just the recyclables not being clean enough. Greasy pizza boxes are a very common one. That grease actually ruins the cardboard, and that cardboard is no longer recyclable. What China did is they set a limit on the import of recyclables at 0.5% contamination. So you're taking stuff coming out of the blue bins that's at 20 to 30%, and you're trying to sell it at market with no more than 0.5% contamination. It's very low, and in a lot of cases, it's impossible to meet.
Across the city of about 45,000, residents place recyclables in more than 11,000 bins, and weekly refuse trucks like this one made curbside pickups. Then the service decreased to every other week. At City Hall, City Manager Chuck Patusek explained that recycling has its benefits for a community of this size.
Recycling saves space at the landfill. Landfill space is very expensive, so obviously the less you put in there, the fewer times you need to expand landfill space and cells and those kind of things, and obviously those need to be constructed in a very sound environmental way. Along with that, the recycling markets were historically very good. We even got up to the point of making around $600,000 a year. So of course that's an offset that helps keep the costs of landfill tipping down to everybody as well. And Sierra Vista was recycling over 90% of the recyclables in Cochise County as well. So it was a very, very successful program.
But it came at a cost. Though Sierra Vista is the largest city in Cochise County, it is very much in rural Arizona with a smaller population generating less waste.
And we also have tremendous distances that need to be covered. So the transportation costs are very high, not only in terms of getting the refuse to the transfer station and packaging it, but then putting it on trucks and taking it up to Tucson and then taking it to the resellers there. So when the market crashed, then we stopped getting revenue.
So did Sierra Vista, you made the initial investment, did it sort of pay itself off ever?
Well, I don't think you ever really pay off recycling. I think there's always a cost associated with it. So I would never call recycling a money-making proposition. It's a good thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And if you save on landfill space and that kind of thing, it can make some good economic sense.
Back at the maintenance center in Sierra Vista, Flassar says the challenges of keeping towns clean and environmentally conscious is a top priority across the state.
Everyone is grappling with the same challenges right now on recycling. We are by no means unique. There's lots of communities that are trying to figure out the next steps, and it looks different depending on the community. What we've done here isn't going to be a one-size-fits-all approach. So Phoenix, talking with them, they're looking at surveying their residents, trying to figure out if there's any appetite for a price increase, or if people want to continue recycling. And those are the kind of conversations they're having in their city. Tucson is also having those same conversations. So every community is looking at this, and will have to find the solution that best fits them.
And though the future of recycling is uncertain, the question of sustainability rises.
The U.S. used to have recycling markets, but the bottom line is we couldn't compete with the Chinese markets at the time. They were offering better prices, and they had lower labor costs to handle all those materials. Going back, supply and demand, there are still opportunities in this country, and I think some of those things will turn around, and I think we will see additional opportunities to recycle within. However, due to regulatory structure, it's going to take some time, months if not years, for those to start to materialize here in the country. I'm confident it's going to happen because economics dictates that it will.